the next few live. So we'll give it a little bit of time because like a lot of people take a few minutes to get in, but welcome for the people that are already waiting. I saw quite a few people were already waiting in the waiting room for us to get started. So this is going to be interesting. So this is the first time that Lance and I have decided to do a small account challenge inside ThetaTraderz. So I thought we'd give a quick introduction to ThetaTraderz.com and then get started into what the new part of ThetaTraderz is going to be all about, which is turning $5,000 into $10,000 repeatedly and paying yourself over and over again with minimal risk, doing it as quickly as possible, but as safely as possible. So maybe, Lance, you can give the people that are not familiar with ThetaTraderz a quick introduction into what ThetaTraderz is all about.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying hi to everybody. If you want to check my YouTube channel, you can see in the comments section there. So, name is Lance. I'm actually a high school science teacher. I have a full-time day job, and I've been researching a lot of different strategies in order to do consistently well in a lot of trades that I make. So there's two main avenues where people can make money with options. One is the buy side and one is the sell side. On the buy side, you do have theta going against you. So every day that you're in a trade and the position isn't moving in the direction you want, you're starting to lose some of that theta. That's as you get closer to expiration, then it's going to be worth less than it was when you first started. So I like the sell side, which is the second way that you can make money in options. And I'll look to sell options to gain that theta decay. So as more and more time passes in a trade, you'll be collecting that theta decay, and then you could get highly probable trades. You could go really far away from the current price and then still make good money off it. And also by selling options, we do 0 DTE every day, except when Jerome Powell talks, he moves the market a bit. So we don't necessarily like huge movements, but every other day besides that, we do 0 DTE, and we'll show the results on that shortly. And those trades will make typically 3 to 5% on your money in a day. And then we also do some longer dated trades. I want to make them very easy and straightforward to able to take these trades, because again, I work full time. A lot of our members work full time. So we do alerts at a very specific time in the day, typically at lunchtime, and it's very easy to get into the trades. And even if you don't get into the trades right away, you'll still be able to get them within a few hours or even the next trading day and still get very similar premiums that I collect. So not only am I a teacher for a full-time job, I do teach in ThetaTraderz.com. So a lot of members ask me questions on how do they put the position in right. We have a lot of beginners that are trying to understand how these options work and sell side, because we do have a lot that started on the buy side. And I help with that in DMs all the time. We also have a pretty active community. It's almost like 250 members, I think, last I checked, on different members that are in all different levels, quite a few beginners, but we have some intermediate advanced members as well, and have a nice growing community of members that help each other out to try to make money passively.
Yeah, and I think it's the perfect number at the moment. We don't really want to grow it too much more because you give so much one-on-one help that you'd be totally overwhelmed with 10,000 members. So it's one of the advantages of joining a smaller service like ThetaTraderz, and so it's definitely something to get in, early on, because like Lance hasn't really got much interest in helping 10,000 people out one-on-one, right? So that'd be a nightmare, living hell. I'm just saying hi to people. A lot of names we know in here already. H.L. says, I love your wonderful reviews. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Ed Babbitt says, hey, Summit peeps. That was kind of an in-joke that we were talking about earlier about these things being summits and stuff. So yeah, lots of people turned out. Let's see. Are you asking for emails to be dropped here for the draw? Yeah, so here's the link. I'll post it again. If you want to put in your, let me see, make sure I get the right link here. I may have posted the wrong link. Just give me a second, guys. So the prize draw is going to give somebody a free subscription. It's not an expensive service or anything, but it's always good to get something for free. So if you put your email into the link that I just put in right here, you can get potentially a free, if we pull your name out of the hat, you'll get a free subscription to this new small account challenge service. So we're going to talk about the service and what it entails. We're already starting to get questions about what the service is going to be all about. So Lance, you want to start talking a little bit about what we're going to do in the actual service? We're calling it the 5K to 10K challenge, and hopefully that gives you some clue about what's going to happen. Hopefully.
All right, so we're going to be doing a challenge starting with $5,000. You could easily do this with a higher account if you have a larger account. Even if you have a smaller account and you want to learn the strategies and still grow it, you can do it with as low as $2,000 for brokerages that are able to get approval to sell options. We're going to be selling options on 0DTE and the longer dated ones. There'll be some concurrently, so you'll do a 0DTE every day. That typically uses about $1,000 in buying power, and we'll start off in that one contract. We're going to scale up as the account grows, so we can make the account grow quicker. And then the rest of the funds we'll use on longer dated, typically 20 to even around 40 days out. And I'll show the data shortly in the results we've had so far this year and last year, and we're getting good returns. Some members want to get a little bit of that extra boost, and I've had a lot of people currently in ThetaTraderz DM me so many messages saying, like, I like these trades, it's working well, but I'd like to go for a little bit of an extra, extra premium on these trades. So we look at different strike prices to see how you can do that, and thought that'll be a good time to actually make this as a challenge to try to grow the 5K account to double it to $10,000. Now, a few things that I've noticed from other services that try these small account challenges is the two biggest deficiencies I've seen is, one, it's very hard to actually enter in the trades at the same time as the other members do. So we're going to be doing 0DTE pretty much 30 minutes right after open, and those will expire the same day. So those, you'll know exactly what time we get in. I'll give you a pre-market outlook on what side we're looking for, if we're doing call or put credit spreads. And then the longer dated ones will be at lunchtime, where you can easily get into those trades as well.
Cool. Yeah, just answer some questions really quick here.
Let's answer a few questions, and then I'll show some of the results that we've had. If you want to just name them out, and I'll answer them.
Tom just asked, is this all selling vertical spreads on zero DTE, or not always 0DTE? Not that it matters, just curious. So I said it's going to be a mixture of both. Like,
yeah, a mixture of both. So we're doing 0DTE every day, except when Jerome Powell speaks. So that'll be part of the account, will be the 0DTE. And then the rest of the account will be a little bit longer dated on individual stocks. Like we did one on NVIDIA today. We do a lot of the tech sectors, and I try to diversify into different sectors. So I'll do tech, do healthcare, do utilities, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool because everybody likes that set time. Like I love it, at least where you've got set time, you know you're going to do something. But then you've also got like the spicy trades that you can add on and get that extra boost, which is really cool. So you have that set time every day. And this is like an auto bot almost, right? You set your orders so that you're either, you set your, you do your OCO type orders, right? So this is passive. This is like, these SPX trades are passive. They're like robotic, which is really like, it'll either stop out or it'll make profit. And you can walk away from your computer and leave it every single day. That's like the core of the program. But the real spice is the add-on, these other spreads that you do in these other companies. And that's something that you can change the delta on quite considerably and you can help mentor people in order to help them decide where they can put their, what delta they might want to pick depending on their goals, how quickly they want to make that 5K into 10K, and that kind of thing as well, to kind of help people along if they want to go faster. Everybody wants to go faster, but faster, it's like the tortoise and the hare type thing, right? Sometimes it's better to go a little bit slower and not lose it all. That's the biggest problem. I've been trading for a decade now, and I've been part of many small account challenges, and they always go like up, 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 down, 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 lost all my capital. Oh well, let's just restart. This is different. This is not going to be like that. Lance is not that style of trader, so I have every confidence that that's not going to be what happens in this case.
Right. A few other questions I see. It will be a lifetime membership. So we're going to start with the 5K challenge, and we're going to start it next Monday on April 1st. Not a April Fool's Day joke. We're going to start in the beginning of the month, and then attempt to grow it to $10,000. Once we get to $10,000, we're going to take out $5,000 in profits, and then we'll start a new 5K challenge. Another thing that I've seen a lot of small accounts do is they start with a small account, they try to grow it as big as possible, and then they possibly will blow it all up after 1 or 2 trades. So we want to make sure we stay diversified. We're doing a lot of different positions. Not one trade is going to completely blow out the account. And I go over in the strategy guides that are included exactly what percent we're willing to risk on each trade. Again, as Russell said, we do OCO orders in a lot of these. So once you're in the trade, just set the one cancels other order, and then either it works or it doesn't. But we're going to be looking for trades with a very highly probable chance of success.
Yeah, and so this guy's asking how will the alerts be sent? Well, they'll be sent via Discord, so you can get them push notification to your phone. A lot of people are familiar with Discord. It sort of really took off like in COVID sort of time, right? But some people still are not that familiar with it. So for those people watching that aren't familiar with it, it's awesome. You can just put it on your phone. It can act like a text message service essentially. It'll push notifications to your phone, and so you can do it on mobile. And also just on your desktop as well. So they'll be sent via Discord channel alert, and we can help you with that if you need help setting that stuff up.
Right.
So yeah. I'm just looking through more questions. Getting so many questions here. You may cover this later, but do you use a stop loss? How much are you going to talk about the strategies in here, Lance? I know you had some you're going to go over some results and things. But...
Yeah, let me go over the results now. I'm going to present my screen real quick so you can see what we're looking at here.
So we'll go through those questions once you present your screen, and we'll talk about what's actually involved. All right. So
can you see my screen now?
Should be full screen right now. So.
All right. So I'll show real quickly on the 2024 results. We also have 2023 results. Russell, I sent you the link if you want to share that with people watching right now. This is a copy of the trades we've did. If you join, you'll see the updated file every day. So these were some of the lower delta trades that have been working very well. On the side here, we look at the different positions, when we sell it, when the expiration date is. And a lot of these trades we're going to get out before that expiration date anyway, because you could get a larger return per day that way. We'll look at the stock price at the time that I make the trade, and then the strike prices. Notice how if you look from this column to this column, they're usually pretty far out of the money. And we're going to be looking a little bit closer to in the money. So for instance, AMD at the time was at 141. We were able to sell all the way down to 115. When we're doing the 5K challenge, we're going to go a little bit higher than that, just so we could grow the account a little faster. You only need 5 width, which is only $500 per trade. So it's very small account friendly. I saw another question there is, do you need a really large account to sell options? And no, you don't. You could do these trades for as little as about $450 or so. It's essentially the width of the spread, so 5 width spread, minus the credit you receive. We're going to be looking for premiums a little bit higher than what I've been doing at ThetaTraderz.com, where we're going to look for around $80 to $100 in premium for the trade. So you only need about $420 or so to do a trade at a time. The deltas, we typically go relatively low deltas, 0.08 to 0.13 or so. For the 5K challenge, we're going to go a little bit higher deltas, just so you could take in more premium, and then you get a larger percent return per day when it works out. For the outcome shows what happened when I get out of the trade. I usually get out relatively quickly. The days in trade here typically is around 3 to around 20 or so days. And for the year so far, the average days in trade was 10 days. With a higher delta, we could actually go lower than this on average. So that could help boost the returns a little bit. Again, with the lower deltas, the average trade was 3% on your money in 10 days. And that's a good return overall. It will double the account if we continue doing it this way. We're going to look for a little bit higher deltas though, just so you'll be able to get these returns a little bit higher. Now, these returns also include the stop loss. I saw another question there. For your stop loss, we are going to look at a 3x, the credit received in most cases. And the 0DTE will do that automatically. For the other stock-based trades, we're going to do alert prices. So if it hits an alert price, we'll get out at that point. In most cases, it'll be close to a 3x stop, but not necessarily 3x. It could be slightly more. However, we're going to be doing very mechanical account sizes and make sure we manage our money effectively. So if you look here, again, the longer dated, very good win rate, 45 out of 49 trades worked. 92% of the time it worked out for this year so far. Look at the 0 DTE. These we do every morning about 30 minutes after open. I've been tracking a $1,000 account just to see how far it goes from it. You could easily do more if you have bigger funds. But from $1,000 in the beginning of the year is already at 1469, so almost a 47% return in just a little under 3 months. So it's been a really good with 0 DTE lately, and this is another good way to help grow the account. What's good about these is we usually go, relatively low delta, and we usually just let them expire worthless. So you just take the trade and just let it go.
You're right there, Lance. He said.
Yeah, it's hard to talk all day. I've been teaching all day too.
Yeah, but.
Are there any other questions I could answer right now?
Yeah, there's tons of questions coming in. I don't know if you can see them on your end, but I can just
want to name them up. We'll answer them here.
Yeah, I can put them up. So very quickly, here's one: is this bull bear biased or market based or based on market conditions? Good question, because a lot of small account challenges only work in up markets, and so it's a good question.
Yep. So on the 0 DTE column here, a CCS is a call credit spread. If the market's down in the pre-market futures, we'll typically look at the call credit spread side because typically the market will stay in the direction it is in the pre-market. PCS is a put credit spread, and it's the opposite. If the market's going up, we tend to look for selling put credit spreads. And then iron condors, when we do both, a put and a call credit spread at the same time, you typically take in more premium in those. And those are for neutral trending markets where there's not much happening for the day.
Cool. I'll just quickly put up a few more. Aaron's question's good. Can you let the 0 DTE expire typically, or do you set a closing target?
Yeah, we typically let them expire. At least right now, with the VIX being relatively low and there's not a ton of premium available, we'll typically just let them expire worthless. You save money in commissions that way. You get a higher return that way, typically 4-6% on your trade. So it depends on the VIX. If the VIX goes up, we'll probably close them out earlier. But I'll typically close them at lunchtime, so you'll be readily available to do it.
So HL is saying, for selling options, don't you need to have a much bigger account? No, you don't. You can do like we're saying with $5,000. You can do higher delta, and you can do daily trades at a set time, and it adds up pretty quickly. So you don't need to have a huge account. It does help, obviously, but you don't need to have a particularly huge account.
Right.
And Lance is great at helping members manage trades like this. So the next question, which sort of goes alongside this, is if the trade goes against you, how do you adjust? So that's a good question.
Yeah, so for 0 DTE, we're just going to stop out on those if it goes against us, because you could theoretically lose the full width of the spread minus the credit you receive. So that would significantly hurt the account if we're losing, $900 or so for one trade. So we stop out at a hard 3x stop on those. For the longer dated credit spreads, I give a 3x stop, but most of the time we just do an alert price. So just as an example, if we sold an NVIDIA one at the time, it was 514, and we sold a 445. If it got down to around 460, 450, then we would close it out because we don't want to lose the full width of the credit in that case.
And Sail Away has another good question here, which sort of links into all of this, is do you teach how to set these orders? And I think Lance is one of the best in the business for basically you can DM and say, how do I do this? And you answer almost every single person, right? Like I've not seen you ignore people. So
I'll show you how to do it. We actually have a full video series on how to enter in the trades correctly. I show how to do it on Thinkorswim, Webull, Tasty Trade, and then I also show you how to do the OCO orders, how to take profit orders. And you can do good till canceled on the longer dated ones. Once you take the trade, just set a good till canceled OCO order, and then you just wait it out. So really not much time needed to take these trades. Typically, it takes me longer to write out the alert than it does for me to actually do the trade itself. So once you get the hang of it, you could get into these trades in 20, 30 seconds if you want.
So again, more about stop losses. I'm loving these questions, guys, because it's really showing that you are asking the right things, right? A lot of new people will be like, how fast can I get to 10,000? Like you guys are like, nope, I've been that route. It's not worked. I've not gone from 5K to 10K. I've gone from 5K to 1K. What is your plan here? And this is what, like, this is the whole point in tonight's webinar really, is to say, look, this is a mechanical system that Lance is known for being. I've been, following Lance's accounts and trading some of them myself, and basically they all grow steadily, and that's very rare in this business. It really is something that you have to pay attention to. So hopefully the stop loss has been answered in terms of we use mechanical robotic stop losses essentially, and that is kind of the key to not losing that initial capital, and that's the key. Don't lose your initial capital. Like that's going to be so.
And there's another aspect to it as well, is looking at how much your position size is compared to your account size. So we're not going to take any trades where you lose more than 5% of your account. So if it's a $5,000 account, we won't lose more than $250 on any trade for any one position that we have. So not only are we looking at stop losses for the individual positions, we're also looking to make sure that our account size won't get dramatically affected.
So here's a question from Tyrone. He's saying, can you scale down trade less than 5K? I think we talked about 5K being a good start balance to cover all the trades that you would be doing if people wanted to follow you exactly. But the answer is yes, you could actually, but your results would probably be less than Lance's, because you'd have to do less of the trades. Because one of the things that Lance does is he manages his portfolio, which will be worth $5,000. But you might not be able to get in all of the trades. Depends on a lot of different factors. So you could do it with less. You could do it technically with $500, but it would be stupid because one loss on an SPX or DTE, and you would be down to like $400 or something. $300. So you have to.
So going along with that, you could do it less than 5,000. Obviously, you won't be able to take all the trades that I'm giving. So we're going to be using we'll use 1,000 for the 0 DTE every day, and I'll scale up as our account grows. For the rest will be the longer dated. Those need $500 per trade about. So once we use the full $5,000, we're going to wait until some of those older trades close out. So then you have our buying power back, and we can take on additional trades as well.
Yeah, and you guys that have the link in the description, you might want to sign up for that prize draw if you can still see the link. I posted it recently. Just a few minutes ago. Make sure you try and win the subscription, because we only give away something for free. We do this every time now, and it works really well, and people like it. So hopefully you do that. Anyway, I've put up the next question. What is a realistic time frame? This is always going to be asked. This is something that we could, for marketing purposes, tell you that you will make the $5,000 next week, and that's what some services would tell you. But in reality, this is talking weeks or months, right? This is not a fact. This is not.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say exactly, because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. If we did, we'll just get the DeLorean and our Back to the Future machine, and then just be able to play the sports almanac. For these trades, though, we are looking to make on a 0 DTE typically around $50, $60 in the day, and then the longer day ones will be more in that, about $80 to $100 typically. That could take about 10 days or so. So you can just do the math there. It's going to take a little bit of time. We're not going to try to double it in a week. It's really hard to give a specific time frame where this is going to happen.
I think anybody that gives you a specific time frame is probably going to end up ripping you off in the long run, right? Because nobody can really say how long something's going to take. So it's very.
It also depends on the order of when we get our results. We're going to look for high win rates, so our account will grow a little bit slower since you only start with 5,000, but we will scale up. So if we have, say, $7,000, we're going to be adding on more contracts, which will amplify the growth. It's a lot like compound interest. You have the money working for you and growing.
Yeah, and you guys have some flexibility, and you can get some mentoring from Lance about this. For example, here's a question. With the challenge of the 0 DTE, is there a max amount of contracts we can do? Well, if you want to take on more risk and potentially have more reward, then sure, you could try it. You could compound. You do a few weeks with Lance, and you're like, wow, these trades are working like really well. I feel like I could add a little bit more, to my position size than Lance is recommending, for example. And so that flexibility is there for people that are maybe more experienced, but for beginners, they might want to follow Lance exactly. So it's kind of a very flexible system.
It's a good point. A lot of our members at ThetaTraderz.com they'll follow me pretty much to a T in my trades first. And then once they're comfortable, they'll venture off. Maybe they'll do more contracts of 0DTE, more contracts of the longer dated, depending on their risk tolerance and what they're trying to achieve their goals.
And this overarching theme here is this challenge is going to be beginner friendly. So I see somebody has asked this question, is it going to be beginner friendly? And what about the pattern day trading rule? It's two different people that are asking this, but I'm trying to combine things for.
Yeah, so pattern day trader, we're obviously going to make sure that we don't hit that rule. The pattern day trader rule is you can't get in and out of more than 3 trades in a 5-day time period. So in our 0DTE, in most cases, we're going to enter the trade and let it expire worthless. So that doesn't count as a day trade. If we do stop out of it, that does count as a day trade. So you can't do more than 3 stop losses in a week. And if that happens, which is very rare anyway, we probably should take a day or 2 off to let that trades reset. For the longer dated trades, we're never going to close those on the same day that we open them. So you won't have to worry about that. A few trades like Google last week, we entered and closed in, I think, 3 days. So that was a good return. We made about 5% on our money in 3 days. But just by entering and closing it, then it didn't count as a day trade. So I'm going to be very clear on that because it's a $5,000 account. You don't want to get hit with a pattern day trader.
And Lance, what's the win rate roughly on these base SPX? I'm going to call them the base trades of this service is going to be the SPX 0DTEs. What's the win rate percentage roughly? Do you know off the top of your head?
Right now, and it's on the spreadsheet, we're at 84% win rate. Okay. However, that's growing the account at 47% because 1,000 turned into 1,469. So you don't really need a super high win rate as long as you're taking in enough premium to make it worth your while. And it is a little trickier with the VIX being low, but it's still working out very well even with a relatively lower percentage. I think in 2012 we over doubled the account in a year off just 0DTE, and we're near around 88% or so.
So this challenge is going to be beginner friendly. This will include guides. It'll include access to me and to Lance to talk about sell side options trading, doing it properly, carefully, but also like tailoring it to what you need in terms of account growth. So some people might want to grow very, very slowly and never lose a trade. That's what I do in my futures. So Lance does a futures trading service. I go really low delta and I never lose a trade. I've never lost a single trade in over a year, but it's growing more slowly. So I could actually grow much faster if I maybe up the delta a bit. So this is the stuff that you learn inside the ThetaTraderz community, which is really, really valuable. So I think it's very beginner friendly overall.
Right.
Quick technical.
A lot of questions here.
I know it's going on and on. So trade result spreadsheets. People get very bogged down in these spreadsheets. So sometimes we get a lot of like really detailed questions like, is it commissions based and what contracts did you do? So can you give some narrative on that? It would be pretty useful.
Yeah. And hi Terry, I know we emailed a few times personally before on questions. Trade results spreadsheet, that is based on one contract. We will scale up to multiple contracts when the account shows it. So when we're about 7,000-8,000, we'll typically be doing 2 contracts on the slightly longer dated. I'll just show one contract just for tracking purposes, and other members, especially if they have larger accounts, will do more than 1 contract.
Great. 0DT options, will you wait till the end of the day? It should expire worthless.
Yeah, in general, yes. For iron condors, if we're taking in a pretty good premium and it's a good return in a few hours, sometimes I'll close those. But if we're only doing a put or call credit spread, we're going to let them expire worthless. You save on commissions that way. You don't use up a day trade for pattern day trader rule, and you make more money that way.
Yeah. And so this next question from Sahil Mago says, is it only going to be an alert service? I'm more interested in learning. Now, I find that really funny. So Lance is a professional teacher. That's what he does. He teaches chemistry and physics, I think, right? So you do as a profession. He's the best stock trading teacher you'll find out there as well. He's given away so much of his free time to Zoom and talk to people one-on-one and help them through the basics of things, to the point where I'm like, stop it, he's been burned so many times by people taking advantage of him because he's so helpful with teaching and helping people learn the basics. So this is very much a learning service as well as an alert service. So
right. And we're going to have a group chat channel where you could ask questions to other members, and you can also DM me one-on-one, and we could go over how to
but not too much.
But not too much. If you're a lifetime for all strategies, then we'll have Zoom sessions as well.
Yeah, because as the whole Theta system, the whole ThetaTraderz system, like ecosystem grows, it's becoming harder for you to do one-on-ones with people. But I'm also available to talk as well. I'm not as expert on this stuff as Lance, but I have been doing a lot of his, at least his similar stuff with his futures trades. So anyway, questions are continuing. When do you do an OCO order? Let's see. How often do you stop out? I think we gave the results was 16% stop out, right? Roughly. So 80.
Those percentages were based on the OCO orders. So the longer dated, we're at 91%, and the 0DT is like 84% right now.
Aaron Perry, hello Aaron, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. So lifetime members and everybody else in ThetaTraderz.com already will have access to this challenge once it starts on Monday. So starting on Monday, you'll see the channel pop up soon. I've just been editing it and getting it ready to go, getting the system ready for tonight's launch. When we get to 10K, the idea will be to pay yourself that $5,000. So you just pocket that money and keep the original 5,000 and repeat and repeat. Yep. And repeat. So that's definitely a difference from a lot of services. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not turn 5,000 into 100,000 in 3 months. This is a pay yourself, an income system, basically, but just using a small balance if you have one. You can always use more. Like you could use 100K instead of 5K if you want. It's just this is supposed to be like an entry-level service for people that want to learn how to trade these things. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
And you do already have access. If you check on the Discord, I was writing a lot about it on the general chat channel.
So David Higginbotham, yeah. So David, so this is what I'm saying. So what usually happens is, again, and you've probably, and I don't want to bring up other services, but Jason Bond has done this 12 times in a row now, where he builds the account to 10K, then 20K, keeps compounding it, and then suddenly 2 or 3 trades destroy the account, and you end up back where you started or worse. So this is totally different from that. It's like the polar opposite. We don't want to keep compounding. Right. We want to pay ourselves, get that money out to the point where you'll never actually be at a loss with this service. And that's very unusual with most trading alert services, especially small account challenge services. How many of you guys have been in a small account challenge in some Discord channel where the guy goes, guys, we're going in 10K to 100K, and then it goes up and then plummets back down? It's happened to me like 5 times. Maybe 10 times. So this is the opposite of that. So we're not compounding rapidly. There may be a bit of compounding in there, but it's not going to be aggressive compounding, right, Lance?
Right, exactly. And I'm going to show the trades that I'm doing to take the 5K to 10K. That doesn't mean like I have, your wrists are behind you and you have to do exactly what I'm saying. Obviously, you can take more positions if you want. If we hit the 10K, you could keep going with the 10K and don't stop. So it's not going to be like you have to do what I say. I just want to make it so it's a very highly probable chance of working out. And then you, as you said, Russell, get that income stream coming in of constantly getting that 5K from it.
Yeah. I did not anticipate this number of comments. However, we did just reach the deadline for entering the prize draw. I do see Randy saying that the prize draw link doesn't work. The prize draw link has worked for a lot of people, because I'll just look at it right now because I want to make sure I have it pulled up, because we're gonna like find a winner. So I'm just going into my own system here, and I'm just going to see how many people actually entered the prize draw.
Right.
And it is.
We could do that now if you want.
Yeah, it's 82 people have entered. So is it Randy R as in at yahoo.com? If you think it hasn't worked, it probably has, because I do see a Randy R ending with H at yahoo.com. So I do see that name in there. So it probably did work for you. It just didn't I don't know, stupid funnel
All right.
system didn't work or something. So I'm currently downloading the contacts for that. So maybe while I'm doing that, you could answer some more of the questions that people are
Yeah, I'll
asking.
answer them out. I can see in the chat, so Russ will get that going. I'm just gonna read them out loud. Tom said, even though you're using 1,000, you're risking 100 or so because of the stop loss. Pretty much, yes. So if you take in $50 on the trade to start, we're going to put a stop loss at 150. So if you took in 50, lose 150, you're down $100 total. So yeah, because of the stop loss, you're not really risking the $1,000. Round trip on the same day. I'm hearing a lot of pattern day trader questions. We're going to make sure we don't get into pattern day traders. So round trip on the same day is correct. You don't want to go in and out more than 3 times in 5 days. Can this be done with interactive brokers? Yes. In interactive brokers, we have a lot of members doing that as well. And I can show you how to take those trades. Stop loss rules. In general, for the 0 DTE, 3x the stop loss. For the longer dated ones, I set an alert price. I don't like a hard 3x stop on the slightly longer dated trades because sometimes you get stopped out even though the position is perfectly fine. You get those rogue orders of people trying to make you stop out on the fill there. Mike said your iron condors around earnings, one day to earnings. Possibly. I will do a few trades into earnings just because the premiums are elevated after earnings. As long as we don't have a dramatic move, you might get that IV crush there and then the premiums decay a lot. So that'll be sometimes, but not every trade. Risk allocation, Hugo. Risk allocation is we're doing to start out 1 0 DTE and then one of the longer dated trades. So you could do up to about 8 of those in addition to it. So each individual trade, we're not going to risk any more than 5% of your account. Most trades will be even less than that, probably be about 2 to 3% of your account and one of those stop losses. Tom, what might be the most amount of position we have open? Yeah, about 8 or so. Because again, the 0 DTE is $1,000, and then all the other trades are $500. So starting out will be pretty much 1 0 DTE and about 8 of the other longer dated. As the account grows, we might have a few more positions. We'll also be sizing up the contracts and doing more than one contract on them. Do you need margin for this? Chris asked, yes. To sell spreads, you do need a margin account. If you already have a cash account, you could ask your brokerage and they could convert it into a margin account. What type of implied volatility do I look for? It depends. I'm looking mostly at the tech sector that has a little bit higher IV, but I'm not going to be doing meme stocks, which are super high IV because you could possibly lose more than that 5%. So I don't have a set number on that, but it's a little bit higher than SPX is right now because the VIX is at like 13 or so.
Okay, cool. So good time to take a break and see who wins the free subscription. You can't do better than free, right? Like that's the best possible price. So I have a spreadsheet and I just opened it up. It's everybody who entered before and during this webinar up until 10:30 Eastern time here. So so the way to pick this is going to be the next big thing, right? How do we pick the winner out of the 83 people? Well, Lance has basically come up with a number and a random number generator that's up on the screen here, and he's going to generate a random number between 1 and 83, and that line on the Excel spreadsheet will be the person who wins. I'm going to keep your identity fairly anonymous, but I'll email you privately, but I'll also announce it in sort of code that you know if it's you, like now, basically. So
yeah.
I won't give away your full email address or anything like that, but I'll let you know. So why don't you hit the generate random number button and we'll see who's won.
Can we get a little drum roll?
We're not that sophisticated yet, unfortunately.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and 53.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go and look at my spreadsheet here until I get in the system. Just kidding. Just find the right thing. Let's see. So going here. So number 53. And I've got to check this is not one of these guys who does the shady stuff. Okay, so if your name is William and your second name starts with a P and you're a Gmail account, you'll be hearing from us shortly for a free subscription for this. Your second name looks like it ends in an I. So William P, second name ends in an I at gmail.com. You'll be getting an email from me shortly with an invitation for a free subscription. So well done. That's
Congratulations.
pays off to add in. Hopefully you're still watching this, although probably not. That's usually what happens. So I'm just noting that down to send you an email after this finishes, and we'll invite you for free into the new microservice that we have started. So yeah, any other questions? And then we can send you guys the link to sign up and join. It's really low cost. It's a one-time fee. So it's something I think that you'd really benefit from. I wish I'd started selling options years ago. It was really Lance that got me into it. And it's where I'm putting a lot of my capital now. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Right.
Let's see. Christmas. Blah, 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 blah. All right, guys. So here is the link to go and purchase. It's a one-time fee. I can pull it up on my screen as well. That means I actually have to do some work tonight. I have to actually post a link and then pull up a thing, and we can talk through what you actually get with this mini service. But actually, Lance, can you do it if I send you the link? For some reason my launch pass thing is displaying like all scrunched up. I don't know why.
I can't actually open up the link because I'm on my school laptop.
Okay, let me try a different browser then, because that might help. So it works sometimes on one. Oh, okay. So it's working on one browser but not the other. So let me just close this other stuff and then share this link, and we can talk about what you actually get for your money, because that's the most important thing, right? Is like that you get value for money, and that's what I think Lance and I pride ourselves on in ThetaTraderz, is giving value for money. So let me just go here, present, share screen. Hopefully I closed out all my porn. Just kidding. Right here, share this one. All right, guys, can you see the screen now? So it's the link that you guys should get as well. So ThetaTraderz 5K challenge. So it's a lifetime access. So it's a one-time fee. And I think this is important because it's good to know that you're only paying once and you're not going to get rebilled over and over again. And especially if you're a small account, right? If you're not using 100 grand or 200 grand as your account, you're starting with 500K. You don't want to be paying $2,000 for a 5K challenge. Although that would pay itself off in time and wouldn't be a bad investment. It's still nice to get a lower price than that, right? Just to get you off to a good start. And so I think surrounding yourself with some of the best people you can, people like Lance, and doing these challenges where you take 5K to 10K, pay yourself the 5K, repeat over and over. And then there's always the option of upgrading as you go if you or maybe you want to grow faster than this, right? Well, ThetaTraderz has different tiers, and you can check out the website for that. And we're always very generous with this. We always add take the credit that you paid for a service. So if you pay for this one, then we'll use that credit to upgrade you to the next tier, plus whatever the difference is as well. So if you decide you really love this stuff and you want more of it because you're making money and Lance is helping you a lot and you really feel like this is the way to go, then always bear in mind that this one-time fee can be applied to the other tiers. For example, the futures options, we sell futures options, and they're just brilliant. They're just so passive and so lucrative. It's amazing. But this is like our bottom tier, basically, for people that are just getting started, or people that just want a simple system without too many bells and whistles. So let me just spell out exactly what you get. You get one daily 0 DTE SPX trade every day, 9 a.m. Central Time. So Lance and I are both in San Antonio, so we put everything in Central Time. So hopefully people don't get too confused. The trade's placed mechanically, so this is what we're talking about, is emotions always get in the way with trading, and placing these mechanically is the only way to do them. If you try and do them with emotion, you'll basically just get boned. So be really careful doing it any other way. And to spice things up and make things go faster, we're doing these longer dated credit spreads. These will also be at a set time roughly. That's right, Lance, about 12:30 Central Time.
Yeah, 12:30 for the longer dated and 9 o'clock for the 0 DT Central Standard Time.
Yeah. And so so the nice thing is that these are very they work in bull markets, bear markets, and sideways markets, which is always good. If you don't know anything about Theta and you're a total new beginner, look up time decay. You don't need the trade to go anywhere. It can stay where it is. the underlying, and you still make money, which is really cool. It's a really interesting concept. I know there's a big span of expertise in here tonight, in terms of like from beginners to people who've done this like a lot. So just in case you're a complete beginner, these trades are not directional necessarily, although it does help. So included in the subscription, you also get the guides on how to place the trades. So people always want to know, are you going to get help? Yes, Lance will help you. I'll help you. The guides that Lance has put together will help you. And we're going to include a little community as well of people that will help you as well. And that's turning into a really nice community. So we'll need to add that in. At the moment, it's not, I don't think, included in the channels yet, because I'm just setting this all up. Anyway, one of the big questions, 5K gets to 10K, then we will take these profits and start a new challenge. That's what Lance and I will do. But what you do is up to you. So you can try and compound if you want. This is just what the aim of this particular service will be. But everybody has their own free will and should do what they feel is best. So,
right, so just a few other things to reiterate. This does give you lifetime access. We did just get a member sign up. So this does have lifetime access for the 5K challenge. We're going to start next Monday. And then at that point, we're going to try to grow it to $10,000. At that point, we're going to reset it back to 5,000. You pocket the 5,000, keep the other 5,000 to do another challenge. If you want to try to grow the 10 grand, you can do that as well. This is going to be the founding introduction rate. So if we get very popular in these, we're going to have to raise the rate on these just for the amount of time that we spend on it. So this would be the best opportunity to actually join at this point.
I agree, because you can get more attention from Lance, and that's something we never get back, right, is time. So Lance is putting a lot of time and effort into this, and he helps everybody. But at some point, it's going to come to a point where he's not going to be able to help anybody, like everybody, like these bigger services, like Raging Bull and all these bigger services, where you're not going to get Jason Bond or Jeff Bishop talking to you personally about how to make sure you know what you're doing with this stuff. In addition to all of this, there is a bonus, and this is a really cool bonus, which is a real secret that I've never heard of. And like I said, I'm not a new trader. I've been trading for a long time. And included in the subscription, we're going to give you a bonus channel in ThetaTraderz, which basically allows you to make passive income doing absolutely nothing. So it's a bit like dividend investing, but it's cooler than that. So it's risk-free. There's no worry about what you're investing in going down in value. And it's pretty unusual. It's kind of a secret method that some people with bigger accounts might be interested in. You can do it with smaller amounts of money, but it'll be smaller returns. This is kind of like a secret bonus that we just wanted to throw in there, where it is actually truly a risk-free passive income approach, where you purchase certain I don't know what you call it, financial assets that don't have dividends. So it's not dividend investing, but that's as close as I can come to explain it without giving the secret away. So hopefully you guys with bigger accounts might be interested in doing this, because you can make quite a little bit extra money and use some of the extra funds in bigger accounts and things if you have them with this. So yeah. So I think that covers about it. What's all the other questions? I've been looking at this page for a while. Is there anybody trolling?
I've been answering them in the chat too, as they say. So if you look at the @ and then your name, I'm answering them as they come in.
Right.
This feels like my ThetaTraderz membership on steroids, and it's very quick. So I usually go into more detail on these answers as I get them. But
yeah. Okay, so I'm going back up to where I left off when I started. Yeah, so let me see where we're at. What is the fee? Blah 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 blah. Well, you can't do.
So again, you get for $397 one-time payment, you get lifetime access. I've been doing ThetaTraderz for about 3.5 years now. A lot of other members could verify and vouch that, and I'm not going anywhere. So don't feel like you're gonna see this once and then I'm gonna go away. This is gonna be here for life.
Yeah, this is Lance's retirement plan, right? You're going to escape teaching.
Yeah.
And, so
many teachers are asking me that like over and over. I was like, in my main account that I do with futures, I made over half my teacher salary this year. So it's going to get close maybe.
Yeah. So just going to go through the questions. I'll post the link again for people in case they haven't seen it. The link just got posted for signing up. So Tom's saying with this challenge, will be going on pretty much in perpetuity, where you keep going. Yes, so that's the idea, right? That's the idea. And a lot of people always say, "Oh, well, I have to get in at the start of one." That helps, right? But like, if you learn the techniques as you go, you can do what you want. You can take the trades willy-nilly. Like, you don't have to follow the person that's doing them and do every single move. If that's so people are always like, "Oh, when does the next challenge start?" It's like, well, now, if you just jump in and trade, size your trade to what they're doing to start then, and whatever. So all right, so lots and lots of questions. So let's keep going. Can the 397 be credited towards the $2,000 lifetime if we ever wanted to? Yes, I think we mentioned it earlier, but it's very crucial. Is anything you buy at ThetaTraderz.com, we credit it towards another package. So we have these different package layers. If you go to ThetaTraderz.com, you'll see there's futures, and there's different types of futures accounts, and then there's SPX trade. And so this will be something that you can use for credit. So we also do payment plans. We're getting a little bit more picky about who we do payment plans for because of some unsavory characters we've had recently. They've really annoyed me. And so, like, as long as you show that you're like not an imbecile, basically, then we'll do payment plans as well as putting credit towards things. So you can get some of these things like lifetime ThetaTraderz for a lot less than you'd expect, right? So imagine you bought the 397. And then we gave you a discount on, say, $1,500 on the lifetime. Then we credited the 397. Then you're talking about $1,200. Then you split that into 3 or 4 payments. Where we do things like that for people all the time. So you could end up having the whole lifetime package for 3 or 4 months of $300 or $400, and boom, you're done. So yeah, we definitely do that. We like doing that. It helps a lot of people. It does give us a lot of extra work to do, though. So sometimes I'm not sure how in favor of it.
Yeah, so you see a lot of services that are around where they get you in the intro plan, and then you just get flooded over and over on upgrade to this, upgrade to that. And some people think they have the full package, and then they still give them, you could upgrade to this. If you do this particular challenge for the 5K challenge, you will get access to the stock-based trades that we do to try to turn 5K into 10K. The trading date will start. I saw another question on that. We're going to start on April 1st, so next Monday.
That's no joke, right?
It won't end until I die. I know that sounds a bit, but it's gonna. So we're gonna take the 5K, make it 10K, and then start over a 5K again. So it's in perpetuity. So not really an end date. David, anything we buy can be used as a credit. Yeah, so we do a quarterly plan. I'll mention this because I'm getting a few questions based on it. So the normal quarterly plan we do is 197 for all the stock-based trades. There's a few additional trades in that won't be in the 5K challenge. So we'll do 3-month SPY trades. We'll do some additional longer dated trades and whatnot. So if you decide to do that, we could use as a credit for other services.
Yeah, and I think it's important to reiterate here, there are different plans, and don't get confused. What we're offering is lifetime access here, is not lifetime access to the whole of ThetaTraderz. That's the 1997 that you see on the website. So you're not sneakily getting some bargain here where you're getting the whole of ThetaTraderz for 397. The 397 is just for the small account challenge. So don't sign up and then claw it back thinking you got the whole. You were supposed to get the whole of ThetaTraderz, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows that, because when there's confusion, there's always ends up people doing stuff like that. So, let me see. Have we covered this one yet? So I'm assuming you can't do this in an IRA because you need a margin account for spreads. Is that correct?
Yeah. There's ways around it. So Schwab right now and Tasty Trade, you could actually sell spreads in an IRA because there's a defined risk trade. If you're doing a 5-width spread, your max loss is up to $500. So they're actually allowing these in the IRAs.
Okay, that's cool. So people have IRAs. That's always good. So just continuing down here. See, I think we're getting towards the end of things. Can you sell puts with low delta if you do it in a non-margin account instead of spreads? So you could do cash secured.
You also do cash secured puts. You can't do spreads in a non-margin account. Fully cash secured too, but that would take up a lot of buying power compared to the spread. So you would want a margin account on these.
Yeah, and It's not difficult to get a margin account on.
No,
You know.
you could get it with up to as little as $2,000, because that's the minimum you need to open the brokers with a margin account. I remember when I opened up Tasty Trade, I did it with 2,000, and he gave me option approval to do everything with futures, stocks. So they're very lenient in order to do that. And if you're curious about how to get the margin account once you sign up, I could help you go over the questionnaire and what they ask in order to get approved for that stuff. But it's pretty straightforward.
People are starting to sign up. And see this one. So Tom is saying my login just errored out after paying. I'll sort you out. Don't worry. Once I get finished answering all these questions, Tom, did you see Tom sign up, Lance? Or
yeah, I see your Discord name, but I don't know what your email is. I do have an email with TD signed up. I don't know if that's you or not.
I think so.
I'm not sure. If it did, then we should be able to set you up on it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. The roles are still being set, and there's still going to be some set up this week, because remember, the challenge doesn't officially start till Monday, but we want people in as soon as possible so we can make sure we've got everything ironed out, we've got everybody up to speed, and all that kind of thing. So sorry about that, Tom. Hopefully it's something that's easy to fix. Launch pass and Discord can be a problem sometimes, so hopefully we can sort that out pretty quickly for you. Okay, so more questions. When does the 5K to 10K date start, and when will it end? So we're starting the first one on April 1st, not a joke. And it'll finish when it hits 10K, which is however long it takes. It shouldn't take that long, but you never know. The market may go ripping up, it may go ripping down, it may just go sideways, which is a premium seller's heaven, right? If we just go sideways. Or volatility suddenly spikes and we sell a ton, and then we get the advantage of a volatility drop where the premiums all decrease dramatically. So it's impossible to say when it'll end because there's too many factors. I think we talked a little bit about that. But each one, we're hoping to do several a year, though. We're not thinking this will take a whole year. It's that would be a little frustrating if it took a whole year to double your money, but you would still learn a lot doing it. It'd still be a lot of fun. So, so can we use this credit, including 90-day subscription? More things about credit. Anything we buy can be used as credit? Yeah. So anything you buy. So if our Stripe account says you've spent $400 and you want to buy something that's $1,000, we'll use that $400 towards the $1,000. So yeah, we're really good that way. Probably too good. We probably could sell a lot more and make more money, but it's more fun doing it this way and having people happy,
Yep.
Okay, so let's keep going down. Can you only do this? Covered calls. Let's see. So covered calls. We haven't really talked about covered calls. Let's see what this guy's saying. So for my custodial accounts, you can only do covered calls. Do you have trading for this type of service?
Yeah, I mean, I do mention those occasionally in the lifetime for all trades service. That's the 1996 plan. I'm guessing you might be in Canada, possibly. So if it's in Canada, you have to be a little bit more flexible in your trades there, I'll say.
Spreadsheet earn again. Yep, it's up 50% since January. That's just part of the small account challenge, though. Remember, that's not including the higher delta, more aggressive, spicier trades that we add to it to try and increase returns as well. So, yeah. Let's see. More and more questions. Taking advantage of credit, do we just need to reach out to you by email or Discord? Yeah, so if you're in the Discord or on the website, email me, email Lance, or emails are on the website, or comment on our YouTube channels, or however it takes to contact us. So, yeah.
And we're going to probably finish it up in a few minutes here. We got quite a few signups already, about 6, I think.
All right, not too bad. Yeah. People are enjoying the.
We're gonna close this offer at probably Sunday because we want to get started on Monday on the trades. So this will be the lowest rate we're gonna offer this plan for. So when we double it, we're gonna have to raise the rate on this because it's gonna take up too much time.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Once the count doubles, you're okay, up the price at least a bit. So yeah.
Martin, we will provide a spreadsheet to track the trades as well. Yes.
Yeah,
and Mike, I'll send you a message on Discord.
Yeah. So guys, don't freak out if you're signing up and things are not quite all ready yet. Again, like I said, this week we're setting things up. We're going to get you guys all set up and make sure everything's in place for the start on Monday. So don't freak out if there's problems with that. So Tom just signed up as well. Excited to start. That's cool. Yeah. So I'll get to work tonight and make sure everything's visible to you guys as you get on. At the moment, it's still in its kind of rogue state. We've both been working really hard recently, and this has been something that we are just getting around to really going at today. So congratulations to everybody who's signing up. I think you'll find this changes your trading. I think if you're new to selling options, this will be life-changing. If you're not new to selling options, I still think this will help you a lot to advance. And let me post a link just one more time for people if they want to sign up for it. We will put it right here. So that's the sign up link I just posted again. And so if you have any more questions, you can email me at stockalertsreviewed.com. So I'll just put mine in, and then we can put Lance's in, stockalertsreviewed.com, at protonmail.com even. I do Proton Mail.
There's a spreadsheet. I'm still setting it up. But yeah, you'll see all the trades that we do. And it's also on Discord. You're going to see very clearly where the alerts are and when to take them. And there's a strategy guides and how to actually take the trades as well.
Yeah, and that's part of the setup of this whole thing is trying to get it separate from all the other stuff Lance does, so it's nice and organized and obvious what's going on. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's been a full hour, and it's definitely getting late on the East Coast. That's for sure. So, it's even late in Central Time here. So, I think let's wrap it up at that. If you have any more questions, email me stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com. Email Lance. You have his contact details on the website, ThetaTraderz.com. Let me just put that in once really quick here in case people haven't checked it out. So it's just ThetaTraderz, HTTP. I'm so tired I can barely type. HTTPS. ThetaTraderz. Why am I not just copy pasting it? ThetaTraderz.com. There we go.
I'm going to leave my personal email as well. And you could ask me any individual questions there. Again, we're going to leave this offer until Sunday at midnight.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for attending and listening to the whole thing. And fantastic for you guys that are signing up. And we'll talk to you in the Discord very soon.
Sounds good. Have a good evening, everybody.
All right. Cheers. Bye.